the last words my mother ever said to me were, "Jake, shut up, you're hurting my ears." And I looked at her, turned around, and I said, "What, Mom?" That was it. She had her eyes closed, her head started going into convulsions like this, and she fell out of the kitchen chair and the doornail.
So, here we go.
My name is Jake, and I'm a heroin addict and crack addict.
Where we at?
And I'm currently living in New Orleans. I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
How'd you get down here? When did you move to New Orleans? How long you been here?
About a year and a half.
And the whole year and a half, have you been homeless down here?
Yes.
Have you been using crack and heroin the whole time?
Absolutely.
Tell us what life was like as a kid growing up.
Well, grew up in a small town, about 350 people and inhabitants in the whole town. Real small town, everybody kind of knew everybody type of thing. But growing up for a kid was kind of rough for me because I really didn't have a really good selection of friends because they were very jealous of me because my mom spoiled me rotten because I was raised an only child. No brothers, no sisters, nobody, you know. Held back in school, in special ed, all the way through. I mean, they even held me back in kindergarten. So school was really hard for me. I was very misunderstood. And for that, kind of, you know, it sucked. But, you know, aside from what my mom would do for me, which was give me video games, give me everything I wanted, which that was cool and everything. But outside of that, you know, really just wanted friends, real friends. Instead, they really just picked on me and, you know, things like that. And it just, yeah. Probably
not easy as a young kid. Where was Dad?
Dad, he chose the biker life as his family. He was a high-ranking Hells Angels member. So he chose that life over mine. Mm. And it really sucked because I look a lot like my father and always wanted to be like my father. Mm. However, I couldn't get him to, you know, be in my life. It sucked. It hurt my mother very much too.
So you kind of have the biker look with the rings on and everything.
Yeah, I always like to be stylish. I like to. I think in modern day society they would call that a dressed up trash can. But no, really, it's just I like to look good.
So do you think that the absence of Dad being there, and then obviously being picked on in school, there's nobody that likes that. Did that push you in a certain direction? Yes, actually.
It pushed me towards the use of drugs. You know, it always started out small. Occasional marijuana use, cigarette smoking, anything to stimulate my, you know, hurt heart and misunderstood mind. And it just kind of slowly, gradually upgraded, you know. Yeah, I ended up slipping into worse things later down the road. But
what were some of those worst things that you slipped into, and when did that happen?
Well, when I was about 14 years old, I remember an older friend of mine, a gentleman I used to buy weed from, asked me to come up to this motel that was a little bit outside of town. And so I went to the hotel and thinking that maybe he had some weed he was going to smoke or ask me if maybe I needed some, whatever. And I should have knocked. It's a real big mistake I'll never forget. I wish to God I could have changed and did different because it probably could have really changed my life. I walked in, instead of knocking, I walked into the hotel room as he was shooting up heroin. Mm. And it really, really didn't sit right with him. He's manic bipolar and really off the chains, and he snapped out. I mean, he literally lost it. He looked at me, he goes, "Gosh damn it, Jake, you weren't supposed, you never learned to fucking knock." He goes, "You stupid little son of a bitch." He goes, "Now you ain't leaving. Now you ain't leaving until you do this because you ain't telling your mom." And oh man, was I scared. He goes, "Sit down." I go, "Oh, I ain't doing this." He goes, "You ain't leaving." I was scared, you know. He's a big guy, you know. And he goes, "Hold out your arm and shut up." He goes, "You're going to love it anyway." And all I remember I could just keep saying was, I was, am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? And he just said, shut up. If he goes, you say, well, am I gonna die one more time? He goes, I am gonna kill you. He goes, shut up and just fucking go with it. And I just closed my eyes and I held out my arm, and forced me to, in a way, I guess it's kind of forced to love something that I should hate. And I still, to this day, 20 years, I'd say, later, I'm still using, and I don't know how to get away from it. It's all I know. It's my only release. I love heroin so much that if I had to choose between crack or any of the other shit that I'm addicted to, I would choose heroin over all of it, because I would never want to go through the hellacious sickness that, I mean, just 2 months ago, a guy died because from withdrawals, because he didn't have it. Yeah. They found him in his tent, shriveled up, no weight on him. I mean, he looked like a dried up raisin. Yeah. So, yeah. So, heroin is just, nowadays they mix it with fentanyl. So that's what I prefer. I prefer half heroin, half fentanyl. Because I want that euphoria. I want to stimulate my body, and I also want it to have legs. They call that having legs on it. Mm-hmm. When the heroin when it's got raw heroin mixed into fentanyl, because fentanyl, as anybody knows, has only a 2-hour lifespan. So 2 hours, if I was shooting straight fentanyl, I would be sick in 2 hours. As opposed to mixing a half with heroin, I'm gonna have 6 hours, give or take, before I need another shot. I inject.
Are you high right now?
Yeah, I just did a shot before I come to talk to you guys.
Okay, is that what you were doing when
That's exactly what I was doing.
Too? Is it easy to find heroin in New Orleans?
It's on every street corner.
Really?
It's an epidemic.
And you can say, this person, I want heroin, or you have a different guy or gal to go to for fentanyl, or does one person kind of sell it all?
Well, I see. For me, I choose to do it. I mean, if I'm gonna do anything, you do it right. You know, go big or go home, they say. With that said, what I mean by that is, I choose a guy that pulls up in a Porsche with an Uzi in his lap and an AK-47 in the backseat. Those are the kind of guys I get drugs from. Really heavy hitters, old school. So in other words, I know what I'm getting when I get it. So there's no chance for a mistake. They can't mix it with anything else, because these guys know what they're doing. They're you know, they want you to keep coming back. In other words, they don't want to kill you off, so that way, you know, they can't make any more money off you.
Sure.
So I chose, you know, the best ones.
So you got down here a year and a half ago. You're already addicted to heroin and crack. How does one find the type of dealer that you're looking for in a brand new city?
You don't.
They find you?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Enough digging, and you lose enough money, and finally, you know, it's like the old commercial. You know, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a lollipop? Well, how much money are you willing to blow before you finally find the right guy? And yes, he pulled up in a car. I was walking, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "You do drugs?" I go, "Hell yeah, I do drugs." He goes, "You shoot heroin?" I go, "Yes, I do." He says, "Take my number down." I go, "You got a sample?" It's your biggest thing right there. If they say yes, they'll give you a sample. They're probably the guy you want. He said he gave me a sample. It was so damn good. I nearly died. And so yeah, he was on from there.
Someone just coming up to you like that with an Uzi on your lap, I would venture to guess I mean, we have police cameras, there's like flashing lights all over the place.
Their windows are always tinted.
Is this a pretty dangerous city? Is it dangerous out there?
It's extremely dangerous. I can't tell you how many countless times I always keep this on me. I sharpened it myself. This is what I use it's my scare tactic. I really don't ever want to hurt anybody, but under the circumstance, God forbid, I have to. I've had to use this probably 5 times already. I haven't had to stab anybody with it, but I've had to run them off with it. You know, for example, me and her sleeping out here on the streets, there's about 4 times now it's happened where she's woke up with a guy's hand in her vagina. Yeah, literally screaming, waking up, "Baby, wake up! He was touching me!" And the guy jumps up. I go, "Get the fuck!" I go, "You got 2 seconds to get away before I kill you." And you know, it's just fucked up. And like 2 weeks ago, and this is God's honest truth, 2 weeks ago we were sleeping in this little cubby off of what they call it street by Chapatula, and I couldn't believe it. This is in a situation where she woke up, the guy touching her inappropriately. And, well, when I popped eyes, when she screamed, she goes, baby, no! And I opened my eyes, and he was this close. This is a true story. He was this close to slicing my throat with a box cutter. He was coming in to slice my throat as I woke up, and my jump and my reaction, I must have spooked him, and he knew he didn't have enough time, so he jumped back, jumped over like a gazelle, and took off, and I chased that son of a bitch as fast as I could, and I couldn't catch him. He was so fast. And
so it's dangerous out here.
Extremely dangerous. I would not recommend this to anybody, not my worst enemy, to live the life that I live. I live it because it's the only life I know.
I want to come back to kind of the present and
sure.
Your significant other that you mentioned. But before we go there, where is Mom?
She's dead. My mother died in my arms when I was 19 years old. She died from a heroin overdose. Died in my arms.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, she smoked crack. Me and her did the night prior to her death, and she owed like $350 to the guy that she was giving it to her. And well, he come down the next night to get his money, but my mom had already arranged with him that she wasn't gonna have the money for a week. It was real weird, yeah. And he says, well, if she doesn't have the money, then I gotta get that money. I go, but she already told you. We have 1 week. And he goes, well, I got some really good heroin on me right now, but I can't give y'all none unless I get the money. I go, well, that doesn't really matter if you don't have it. He come down there and talked to her personally anyway, and she said the same thing. And he turned around and said, oh, you want to do some heroin anyway, Cindy? And my mother's name was Cynthia Jean Milks. And she said yes. And that was the biggest mistake she could have ever said, because not more than literally 5-10 seconds from shooting the bag that she shot, which is one bag. I mean, the kitchen fold-out table's right here. She's sitting right here. I'm sitting right here. I'm talking to the dealer. She shot it up just that fast. The last words my mother ever said to me were, Jake, shut up, you're hurting my ears. And I looked at her, turned around, and I said, she interrupted me and him as we were talking. I says, what, Mom? That was it. She had her eyes closed. She was sat back in the fold-out kitchen chair she was in, and her head started going into convulsions like this. And she fell out of the kitchen chair, dead in a doornail. And they didn't have Narcan at that time. It wasn't invented yet. And so...
God, man.
She literally watched her life leave her arms. I literally heard her do that death gurgle, that sound. Damn it. Yeah. So my best friend was gone, and they took my house and everything with it. I had a life estate. My mom had me sign off my life estate rights with this guy that was supposed to be a longtime friend of the family. He was my grandfather's friend or whatever, because I watched my grandfather get eaten up by asbestos poisoning, mesothelioma, and she'd already blew all the inheritance, by the way. By that time, she'd already blew all the inheritance on drugs. Me and her partied it all up. Sad. So she could have done so much more with all that money. And anyway, she had me sign off my life estate rights because we were gonna move to Denver, Colorado, and like within that week. Well, that never happened. So he was supposed to pay her money. They were supposed to go to the courthouse and get copies of whatever, the title and deed, all this shit. Everything was done inappropriately and under the table, and for that, I got exited out. He ended up turning around and blaming me for my own mom's death. Told me I didn't deserve shit. Said if I go down that house and take anything out of it, that he would have me arrested. And I said, fuck you, I'll kill you one day. And I walked out of his bar and snuck in through my bedroom window and tried to get all my mom's thousands of dollars of Indian stuff, all our pictures, all the vacations, everything we did. And he caught me, and the police caught me, and they made me give everything back to him, and he burned everything in the backyard.
Man. So that probably sits with you. I'm sure that's never going to be able to...
How do you burn somebody's whole life away when they've already just lost every fucking thing they ever loved? How in the hell do you do that? Just one person could answer that and honestly have a right answer for that. I mean,
I don't know if anybody could.
Yeah.
How do you make your money?
Well, we go around and we ask, we honestly, we beg. We go around and we ask, can you help us out with a couple dollars for food? I mean, I got blisters. I mean, our feet are literally bleeding. We sit there and we walk miles and miles every day, carrying our whatever we got on our backs every day, hustling for the money to go get this shit, so that way we're not sick and all that, so we can lay down and be happy. You know, I probably rob Walgreens 50,000 times a day.
You do that for sell the stuff?
No, we do that to actually. We only take to eat. We only take what we're gonna eat. That's it. We don't buy it. We don't take stuff to boost it and sell it to others. We don't do that. We just take what we need.
So between the two of you, it's really panhandling and stealing what you need to survive. There's no other forms of income.
Correct.
How much do you make in a day? Or how much do you need to make in a day in order to stay well?
$40.
Between each person or total?
Total. At least 40, but we prefer to make at least 100 a day. For as much as we work, about 100 a day.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you out here in New Orleans in your addiction?
Okay. Well, we were sleeping in this little abandoned place off of 2-lane right behind Anita's there. And one night about 4 in the morning, we had this little, like, because it didn't have a door on it, this abandoned house, right? We were staying in there, and about 4 in the morning, I was really dope sick this night, by the way. I was really weak, so was she. We were sleeping, and about 4 in the morning rolls, and I woke up to my front teeth going through my top lip. This big old black guy, real big guy, come in, and he started stomping on my face with his steel-toe boots. And thank God that I had a little makeshift pillow underneath my head to absorb some of the impact. Otherwise, he'd have popped my head like a grape. He got me. He stomped on my head about 5 times before I realized what was actually really going on. And my instant reaction was to cover my face like this. So I balled up, you know, my fists are up on my face, and he began to stomp one more time, and he tripped when he did that because my arms were up. So he wasn't able to, for whatever reason, he fell on top of me. So now he's got his legs locked around my waist, and yeah, he's got my wrist like this, digging his nails into my wrist. So I couldn't do anything. I go, why are you doing this, man? And my girl's trying to get up, baby, no, help. And he's grabbing her by the throat at the same time. He's got me like this. This dude was strong. I'm thinking in my head, I go, oh God, we're gonna die. Like, I'm thinking, how in the hell am I gonna get us out of this? This guy's huge. And I just, by the grace of God. So anyway, he's got me, and he's keeping her down at the same time. And I made the biggest mistake. My knife was sitting on this little makeshift table that was literally like 10 feet away from us, so I couldn't get to it. And thank God it was dark enough in there that he didn't even know that there was a knife on that table, or it could have went could have went a whole different way. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's got his legs locked around my waist. I'm trying to plead with him, at this point. I'm like, dude, just please stop. I'll give you whatever you want. Like, if you let me up, I'll give you all the money in my wallet. I didn't have any money in my wallet. And he goes, no, man. He goes, just give up. He goes, I'm gonna kill you. And he goes, I'm gonna rape and I'm gonna kill your beautiful little wife. He goes, just stop fighting it. Stop fighting it. So calmly, I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Please God help me, And at this point, I seen it. I don't know how I did this. God himself, it had to have been, or maybe my mom, my guardian angel watching over me. I'd gotten a single moment where I was able to get my foot up on his groin area. I was able to, maybe I'm just really flexible, I don't know, but I got my leg up to this, got it on his groin area, and I was able to launch him as hard as I could off of me, and he flew back into this pile of rubble in the corner. And at this point, I grabbed her and I threw her up and threw her out the door. I go, run. I go, you go for help. I go, one of us ain't leaving. And he goes, all right. He goes, we going to war in this bitch then. And he grabbed this big old, it's like broken half sheet of plywood he uses as a shield. And I ran outside, and I come back in with this big ass pipe. And I went and I clocked him in the side of the head as hard as he wasn't able to block the side that I think I faked him out, to make him think I was going to hit him from this way. And I ended up turning around. I hit him in this way, and I hit him so fucking hard. I don't know if it was a skull cracking or the pipe cracking behind how hard I hit him. And I just kind of, at that point, I dropped the thing because I could hear her outside screaming for help. And I just thought, you know what, get back to my wife. Get back to my wife. So I just kind of, I shoulder rammed him. I charged at him and shoulder rammed the plywood and sent him flying back again. And I darted out.
Why do you do that to you guys? Just randomly?
You know, I would love to know the same question. Yeah. I ask myself that every day. What in the hell we did to deserve that?
So there's
she was in a cheerleading outfit. That no.
Where did you guys meet? Were you together in Chicago, or did you meet down here?
I met her.
Are you guys married?
Yeah.
How long have you guys been together? 6 years, so?
Yeah, met her after I got out of prison. I did 4 years in prison for stealing less than $50 worth of chicken patties out of a deep freeze after I lost my mother. Yeah, they...
4 years for $50 of chicken patties.
Yeah, they... the only people that took me trout line fishing when I was growing up as a kid were the people that pressed charges on me. You know, I just lost my mom. I lost everything. Excuse whatever, but I was hungry, and me and this dude, I walked into a garage and I took chicken patties out of it, and I guess we must have got caught because the guy ratted on me, obviously, when the investigators took us both in to interrogate us about, you know, if we had a hand in it or not. The guy rolled on me and wrote a whole statement saying it was all my idea, all this. I didn't know that. I held my word. I didn't say anything. And the investigator kept saying, he goes, "You stupid fucking idiot." He goes, "Tell me you didn't do it one more time." He goes, "I'm going to throw the book at you." He goes, "You're so stupid." I knew in my head, I go, they don't have any physical evidence. I didn't do anything really. All I did, forced entry. The garage was open. It wasn't a residential because it was not connected to a house. It was in a fucking alleyway, an old rundown garage. I was hungry. Well, I lied one more time, and he goes, "You dumbass." He goes, "You're done." And he slammed the dude's statement on the table and told me to put my hands behind my back. They arrested me and put me on I did like half a year in county, and they put me on felony probation and told me that if I messed that up for any reason, that I had to answer the 4 years of felony probation that I was under. And I had another really horrible incident happen that caused me to leave Illinois and move to Iowa, and so I did. And I ran for like 6 years.
And then when they found you, they gave you the prison time.
Oh yeah.
So it sounds like, you seem like a nice guy. You seem like you're not out here like robbing people. Is there anything that you've done that you absolutely just like to this day regret? Like, what's the worst thing you've ever done to feed your addiction?
Getting my girl wrapped up in this. It's the only thing.
She wasn't addicted when you met her?
No. Damn it. I'm gonna pay for that one day.
Does she shoot heroin too?
Yeah.
She smoke crack?
Yeah. She jumps, I jump.
Do you guys share needles?
Yeah.
You share needles with other people?
No.
Are there like syringe service programs down here? That
they got in the park. They give them away for free in the park every single Tuesday.
And you guys utilize those services? Try to at least stay safe?
Oh yeah, we don't share with nobody. We don't. Yeah, I don't even give anybody else the shit because the last time I did, and somebody turned purple on me, and I couldn't stomach that. I'm not gonna be the reason somebody else is dead out here. It's not gonna be because of me giving it to them. You know, I'm not gonna contribute to somebody's life being lost.
I noticed you were crying a little bit, man. What's making you emotional?
Well, because my beautiful wife that I feel like I've destroyed not only my own, but I've destroyed her life. I'm gonna pay for that. She didn't deserve this, and it's not her fault, but she did. She one day she's just like, you know what? If you're not gonna give it to me, she goes, I want to know what it's like. If you're not gonna give it to me, I'm just gonna go get it from somebody else. And I said, no, that's what tricked me into. I'm like, no, if you're gonna do it, I'd rather you do it in front of me. And that's the same thing my mom said. Damn it.
So
Is
this history repeating itself?
It kind of seems that way, yeah.
So how do we break the cycle? You want to press
Well, most would
press that light right above you there. I think that one just, there you go. That'll work.
most would say that go to rehab, but I've been to rehab 100 times, and you don't go to rehab unless you really want to quit. I don't want to quit. Neither does she.
So,
do I want her to stop? Yes, but it don't work like that. You can't just...
Do you think you're going to die out here?
I hope not. I don't plan. I have no intentions on it, no. And it sure
would
as
you
hell
be
can
able to-
tell you that it won't be from a needle in my arm. It'll be because some jealous motherfucker took my life because they were jealous of me and my beautiful wife. Or because I died trying to save somebody else's life.
Would you
It
be
won't
able to
be.
live with yourself if she died?
No. She's all I have. She is my life.
You ever think about that?
All the time.
About how dangerous it is?
All the time. I want out. I want out, so does she.
So, if
I
you
want out of this
could, if you could wave a magic wand right now and turn your life into whatever it would be, what would that life look like for you and for her? Your dream life.
An apartment, or anything, a stable housing environment that's just for me and her. That, you know, we want to live like somewhat of what normal society, you know, views as normal. I want a house. I want to be able to go grocery shopping. I want to be able to, you know, do those things. They stole my ID on our wallets. We have no identification. I can't get a job. It was an out-of-state ID, so you got to jump through all these different hoops, and being homeless it's so hard. I've been fighting tooth and nail to get this stupid identification card that says, hey, I can work. And it's, you know, I can't get any food stamps. I mean, all these other people are getting this free housing and all this, and we've tried that, and it's like, what the hell? Why can't we just get a break? You know?
Yeah.
Just one break.
Well, that break might be today, and so I want to offer you guys. I have a lot of connections in doing this, and in doing this across the country, a lot of places have reached out and offered, whether it's, you know, counseling or treatment stays or shelters or domestic violence places, sex trafficking victims, etc. We have treatment opportunities, and so if it's something that you and your wife want to exercise, I'm going to give you guys our contact information.
Please do.
And literally, when we leave, when we go back home, we can take you with us to make this happen as soon as tomorrow. So I want you to call us if you ever decide that you want help, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't think that it's fate that we walked by you and had this conversation. And
I don't either.
so if you had one message that you wanted to leave with everybody on camera, what would it be?
Please, God, don't ever do heroin. Don't ever be kind. Do for others more than you do for yourself. You're looking at somebody who has been broken in every which way imaginable. Pain, physical pain, blocked away. I mean, all I can really say for the people out there is stay strong, love each other, and please, if you've heard my story, then please don't make the same mistakes I did, because I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, you understand? Love one another and do for others. Help people. Be kind to them and don't just steer them away, because they steered me away. God bless y'all.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
That was really good.